We met at Calvary Temple singing in the choir together. My roommate and his cousin were matchmakers and got us together, and it was one of those love at first sight things. At first I didn't know that I believed in that, but it didn't take long to realize that I did believe in it. I left immediately from that time and moved to the Philippine Islands, where I taught at a school for the children of missionaries.
And so a whirlwind relationship, really. And 45 days before she left, and maybe a month after she got back, and then we were married.
We have 2 children, a son named Joshua David, and he was born 5 weeks early, so that's how he got his name, because the 2 words together means beloved one whom God has saved, and we felt that was important for him. Then 4 years later came Allison, and our daughter Allison is in heaven now. We'll see her again one of these days. And as a result of that, we have a ministry called Thirst, Trust Him in Relief of Suicidal Thoughts, to try to help people who are in the decision-making process for suicide. We wanted to do what we could to help prevent that.
We have 3 grandchildren. Jackson, who is 17 and a senior at Northridge High School, and Matthew, who is 13 and an 8th grader at Windsor Charter Academy, and Caitlin, who is 10 and a 5th grader at Windsor Charter Academy. And they keep us busy. She is the taxi, since they are in Windsor, and Josh and Christy live in Greeley, but it's a delight to center our lives around our grandchildren.
Well, my parents, they were very giving. My father always carried money around in his billfold just in case he met someone that needed some help, whether it was financial, whether it was vegetables, whether it was beef, because we lived on a small hobby farm. I had good role models growing up.
And my parents went through the tough times, and I would have to say Mom and Dad were silent givers. They were passionate about helping people, but they did it in ways that you really didn't see, and which is, I guess, the way we're really supposed to do it. and so I think that I don't remember them doing something hugely philanthropic, but the little things. Later on, certainly there have been a number of role models, and I think of Bob Toynton and how giving he is in this community. Another one on that list is dear friend Janine Trustwell. Janine has an uncanny ability to collaborate. The most amazing person I've ever seen to bring people together. I have to have my dad, who taught me work ethic, which is very, very important. I'm kind of old-fashioned. I believe hard work equals success, and I think that's something that I've espoused to do. Another person that's really touched my life is Larry Pottorff, the leader of North Range Behavioral Health, the CEO. Just his passion for making a difference in people's lives in a very difficult area.
Mayor Gates jumps out at me. I think it was because of the education realm, and that's how the contact began. And he was always tender to Allison and to me through it all, knowing we had struggles, and she especially had struggles, and he was just there, and that spoke to me a lot. I have a motto for my life. We weren't put on this earth to see through one another, but to see one another through. And I believe that creates a passion in me. I see that in Janine Trustwell. I see that in Jean Morel. I see that in Margie Martinez. And then the person who is our marketing person for Thirst, Sarah Martin.
I think of those individuals as selfless, caring, compassionate leaders that is an example for all of us to follow.
After we were married, I did substitute work for a while. And then once the children came along, we decided that better that they come home to a mom than an empty house. And so I did volunteer work starting then and volunteered in the schools. My volunteerism is more in schools and churches. I like to, again, do things that people don't necessarily see. I like to be in the background.
When it comes to volunteerism, I don't know that it was something that was ingrained in me growing up necessarily, but when I came to Flood and Peterson, it was very much a part of our culture that we must give back to the community. It really is pretty easy to describe why I became involved with Weld County United Way. Just because when you're trying to find a place where you can serve the community, there's probably no better place, because you're serving the entire community, not just a portion of it, whether in the past, whether it was church or whatever. This allows you to touch the lives of virtually everybody in the community. One of the things that I like to say about United Way is that being involved in the board in United Way allows so many of us see the community from the top down, and that's not necessarily healthy. The wonderful thing about United Way is it gives us the opportunity to see the community from the bottom up, and those people who are in need throughout the community, whatever it is, and to also be involved with the numerous nonprofits, the city, the county, and everybody else, the businesses that are involved with being a part of United Way. Gives you a unique perspective that, truthfully, I think everybody ought to have the opportunity to do. It is life-changing, absolutely life-changing.